So select the movie data. How about before or every time this function runs, we clear this out. So what are we appending this to? What is a div? If you're not sure, let's just do inspect, and then we can see that this whole blue thing, it's a where'd it go? It's a div called hashtag movie details, which we created, movie details, and this is where all the information is being stored. So why don't we just clear that out every time this function runs? So we could see that we have this query selector selecting that specific tag. So let's move it up and let's clear it out. Okay, so that's a quick way to clear it out. The other way you can clear it out is do a remove child. We can do like a loop where we just remove all the childs in it, but this is a way quicker way of doing it. And then let's just clear this out real quick. So let's see what happens. Let's see if this works. Okay, this still works. Awesome. This is clearing everything out. So we're getting fresh data every time. The reason this works is because we're clearing it before the new stuff gets added to it. Okay. So let's say you guys did not know this, or you guys don't like this method. You guys hate it, or you guys hate writing short-code. Let's figure out how to do it through a replace child or remove. Actually, no, we won't do that. We'll do that later. If you guys want to know the other way of doing it, just let me know in comments, and then or in class, and I'll just I can show you guys, or we could do it together. All right, so this is almost done. Everything is updating by itself. Good. Now, what are we missing? We need this thing to work. So let's just check something real quick. It is in a form. It's an input type submit. I'm not sure if this is the correct thing, so let's just check it out. Input submit W3. So let's see if that's the correct way of writing it. So input type submit seems to be the right way to do it. Let's just double check. Type submit, value submit. Okay, we have exactly the same thing. It's like we copy and pasted it, but we didn't. Let's clear these things out. All right, so we have the right stuff going on. What is this red tag? Okay. So the last thing left is every time the user presses submit, we want a new list item to be added. We want whatever's here to be added as a list item. So let's create that small function, const add list item, and we can we can put a parameter. We can do text. What do we need? We need to create a new list item. So let's do const li document not query create element, do li, and then let's put in li dot inner text is equal to the text we're going to pass in, and then we will add it to the ul, but we don't have a ul variable, so we'll just do it the query selector way /ul, and then append it directly. So every time this function gets ran, it just it gets a text and then creates a new list item, puts whatever text we pass in to the list item, and then adds it to the UL. Okay, cool. We will be calling this function every time the user hits submit. So we need another function, and this will be on. We just delete this. Select tag. So why don't we just create something for the submit? Const submit button is equal to document query selector. Then we select a type submit. So let's give it ID to make it simple. Submit dash btn hashtag submit dash btn. Okay, now we have a submit button, or we have access to the submit button. So let's just put event listener to it. dot add event listener. And what is the event listener? Every time the user clicks, so let's the event listener, the event will be a click, and then we're going to run a function. Okay, we're going to run a function, and what do we do every time the user clicks this? We're going to add a new list item, whatever's in the text, to here. So let's just add list item. Let's copy it. Add list item. We're going to pass in a text. So for now, let's write text. We don't have no text yet, but what text do we want? We want text from this little input box. So let's give this input box an ID. Input dash text. So this is const input constant text is equal to document the query selector. What did we name it? We did input dash text. Input dash it's ID, so we need a hashtag. So we have just the node itself right now, but we want just a value. Since we're not going to reuse, we don't need access to this more than once. We could just do it right here. What do we need? We need the value of it, or whatever's inside of it. So I'm not too sure how to get that. So let's just console log it actually for now. Console.log text. Let's comment this out. Not console log, but console dir to actually see the node itself. Okay. So all I did was hit submit, and then it'll give you, it'll just give console log this thing. Oh, actually, let's put in a little value so we know what we're looking for. Let's make it all caps here. Actually, you know what? Just do that. So we're looking for SADLKFJA stuff. Let's see. Let's dig through it. Where are you? Right here, value. So for some reasons, or not some reason, turns out that we're using dot value again, just like we did for this option tag. Console log, just do a dot value, just to be double checked. Refresh every time we hit submit. Okay, so it's working. We're getting the text we need, and then we have to put it in this list item. So all we gotta do is uncomment this little thing out. So now we're passing whatever this is into the function, and then all the function does is creates a list item, puts that into the text of it, and then appends it. So let's see if this works. Okay, it almost works. It's giving us object, so we do have a little error here. What is the error? The error was that we forgot to put a dot value in it. So once we do that, we get it. And you see how I went step by step. I went really slow. I didn't jump steps. I didn't write like 2-3 lines of code and then check. I wrote 1 line of code, checked. 1 line of code, checked. I recommend you guys do the same. I do that all the time. That way I don't have to go back to it later on and figure out where I went wrong. So let's just clean this up a little. So, okay, that works. So this thing works. We can add reviews, do whatever. This will run. One thing I'm surprised is that the submit is not refreshing. I'm not sure why. Because since it's inside a form, it's supposed to actually refresh every time. Let's see why that issue is. So we get all the type stats available here. Submit. So for some reason, it's not refreshing the page. I'm not sure why. So let's see if we can figure that out real quick. It's on click. Oh, it's because I did it on click. So let's do on submit. SUBMIT. So let's see if that was the issue. No, that was not the issue. You know what? Let's just leave it for now. Don't worry about it too much. Apparently the enter works as well when I hit enter. So if you guys try this out, copy and paste it and see if this works. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, you might have to change this, and then you would have to prevent the default behavior, meaning if refreshing, we would just do event, the passing parameter, and then we do dot prevent default, and then call it. So this would actually just prevent the default, meaning prevent the web page from refreshing every time this gets submitted. So there you have it, guys. The basic JavaScript is done. Only thing left is the CSS. So let's just quickly check if we hit everything. Select box, different films, good. Replaced, good. Movie information to submit a review. Each review should be a new LI with the selected film's title in bold and review body not in bold. Okay, I forgot this part. Select the film's title in bold and review, but that shouldn't be too hard since we went through it really well. We can see that the way we can get the title of this movie is we can do a select tag dot value just like we did here. So one little extra step, add list item. One thing we can do is we could pass in a parameter here, or if you wanted the a little bit longer way, we could do that as well. So we can turn this into a ternary, or we could just make it like a plus type of thing. Let's do plus, put a space, or I believe it's a colon, and then we're going to pass in movie title. So movie title is a constant. Movie title is equal to, it's going to be equal to the select tag value. So let's do the longer way. Document query selector, select dot value. So we're getting the select tag and the value of it every time. Let's do castle in the sky. Okay, so we are actually getting it. So we can see that this works. We fixed that little issue as well. So one thing we didn't, actually no, it works. Okay. Yeah. So there you have it, guys. The basic bare bones working. A couple of suggestions I would recommend you guys to try is to make sure you can't submit on empty. So if it's empty, you shouldn't be able to submit. Another thing that will be a little bit of a challenge is to make sure that every time you change the movie, the reviews get saved only for that movie. I did not do this part. I just made it so where every time you change the movie, the reviews for that specific movie will just be saved on that movie itself. So that's one thing you guys have to figure out. If you guys are not sure how to figure that out, just let me know. I will do another video on that. So yeah, hopefully you guys that wasn't too bad. There was not too many crazy stuff. Everything was simple. We did console logs. We took it step by step. We didn't jump. You know, we didn't do like make like a function, make a couple functions, and then check it. We went really slow. So yeah, I'll post the code up in Slack. The video should be up in a couple hours. It's 5:30 right now, so probably in a couple hours it should be up. It's a long video, so I'll make it 2 parts. And the next video will be a CSS of this. So we'll just style it and make it look a little prettier. So look out for that.